And I'll speak.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, and we're going to start recording the meeting too. But this is an open forum. This is, as Scott was saying, like a meeting with people that think alike, that have similar cultures, and that above all are horrified, but at the same time pissed and angry about what's going on. I will speak for myself. This is something that I take personally. This should not happen and continues to happen in the world. And I know that there's a lot of people suffering. And so if there's anything that we can do to come together and help and make sure that no other uh, uh, egoistic, selfish, and just terrible dictator or autocrat does what Putin is doing in the Ukraine. I think it's just a responsibility of all of us as citizens of the world to come together. So without further ado, again, this is a very open dialogue, so it's not going to be a presentation. So please feel free to interrupt, comment, suggest, and we will be cold calling from time to time just to make sure that the conversation progresses in a very efficient and effective way. The idea is that we'll have these conversations open to everyone that wants to join once a week so that we can put together people trying to donate in one end of the world or in multiple ends of the world with people we need in Ukraine and the surrounding countries. So with all that said, thank you so much again for joining, and let's just jump right into it. I will give a very brief kind of update on where we are here in the US, and then I will actually try to call on Marcin. I don't know if he's there to give us a better understanding of what's happening in Poland, Hungary, Bulgaria, Moldova, and Ukraine as well. So here in the US, great support. We have reached to all our clients and some of the organizations that we belong to, and everyone is really willing to help. Scott and the team, one of them. So UK, the US, some other countries, Mexico that I know, I'm originally from Mexico, and some other countries are willing to help and ready to do so. So we want to just make sure that we're helping in an efficient way. One thing that we've been seeing, unfortunately, is that there's been a lot of scam artists and con artists right now taking advantage of this horrible situation. And so we'll need to be mindful about what we do to help the Ukraine so that the help does get to Ukrainians and their families and immigrants in other countries. But with that said, Marcin, are you around? He might not be. He did sign up for this, and we have our agents in different countries, mainly in Poland, Hungary, Bulgaria, and Moldova. And the idea is that we'll let them talk first and foremost in this forum and in this meeting, so that they can tell us exactly what they're seeing, how they're feeling. So if Marcin is not there, but if anyone else that is currently sitting in anywhere close to the conflict, please go ahead. Tell us a little bit more about the perception that you guys have, some industry updates, something that you want to share with the group.
I can jump in if nobody else is right now.
Go for it, Vladimir.
Yeah, Vladimir Gendelman. I'm with EO Detroit, and so there is a lot of effort, as you mentioned, from different EO chapters, and everybody stepped up in amazing ways, especially EO Poland. They've been probably the leader of everything, but buying supplies, driving them to the border, passing them off to volunteers who drive them within the Ukraine, and also while at it, helping displaced Ukrainians who are outside of Ukraine in Poland. And then we have people in Romania and other chapters that are helping Ukrainian refugees. So what I have done last week is put together a MyEO group that is called MyEO Help Ukraine. So I recommend you guys all join it. If you go to MyEO section, the group is there. And the whole purpose for this group is to organize EO efforts around helping Ukraine, so that we all know what everybody is doing, so that this way we can share resources if needed, or maybe not do the same thing from different places. And it's basically all about managing communication and everything else. I actually have a dedicated person who is starting to work on this, and we'll be working on organizing all the information that comes in, communication and everything else. So hopefully she'll be operational starting next week or so. And we'll be able to hit the ground running with that. I don't want to speak for any other chapters or for any other people who are doing their stuff, just because they have to, they can fill us in themselves. But yes, please join the MyEO group and we'll go from there. And the idea is to support all of the efforts that EOers are doing in different chapters, different localities, and so on and so forth.
Excellent. And thank you very much, Vladimir, for jumping in. Anyone else that wants to share something from the ground?
I'll go, Enrique. So actually, hi, everyone. I'm Natalia Karnoshenko. I'm with EO Global Staff. I'm the Senior Director of MyEO, in charge of the whole MyEO program, so helping Vladimir to set up his group, of course. I'm originally Ukrainian, and I live in Mexico currently. So, hola, Enrique. Yes, they call me Ukraxican. I just wanted to introduce myself because my whole family is in Ukraine. My parents have evacuated 2 weeks ago from heavily bombed Kharkiv with my brother. They're now in Poltava in Ukraine, just 100 kilometers western to Kharkov, where they're not being bombed, but still in a lot of uncertainty, as well as my uncle and his family are in Kiev, preparing to defend the city if needed. So I am in contact with my family, my friends, everyone who is there. And if any of you have been to the webinar on Friday on the efforts that EO Poland is doing, you've heard the only Ukrainian member that EO has, Volodymyr Potapenko, who is he used to be in Kiev, he evacuated, but he cannot leave Ukraine right now. He's in Ukraine, and he talked about the internal refugees in Ukraine. So currently, 4 million people have left Ukraine. So to the border of Poland, the majority of them, which EO Poland is doing an amazing job tackling that, and others through Romania, Moldova, and such. Now, more than 10 million people have been displaced within Ukraine. So those are the internal refugees whose lives have been destroyed. They have no sources of income right now, and they are basically moving out from east and south, wherever, and north, where they were attacked, to other cities, like my family, So I'm not on the ground myself, but trust me, my heart is with them on the ground every single minute of the day. So the needs of the internal refugees are also many. And I understand why we as EOers want to keep helping, of course, EO Poland with their efforts, because they're our members and they're doing what needs to be done. And Ukrainian people will always thank them and remember their sacrifice right now of their time and all the resources. But also my point is that it is important to not only help those who left, but also help those who remain. So, and hopefully this hub that Vlad has created, and we are helping him to coordinate and also communicate throughout EO, can be that one place where all the EOers can not only go to donate, but also go to post projects or needs. Everything that you hear from people who in Ukraine or outside Ukraine that require help, we are, so Vlad has a dedicated person who is going to be working full-time, putting projects, needs, and connecting those opportunities for EOers on that platform. I think now it's time to come together and not perceive things as like competing initiatives in any way, but really there is just so much help that is needed that hopefully, we all can just come together and help where we can in many, many places. So thank you all.
Absolutely, and no, thank you for participating, and that's kind of exactly what we're trying to do as well with this forum, like come together, help each other. I know there's a lot of help in Ukraine and Europe. Poland has been doing an amazing job, as Natalia says, and the idea is that we also help from the US, because you have to not only get the donations, coordinate consolidation, send the containers, but then also once they get there, it's very important what you said, which is how do we help people that are still in the Ukraine, and from a logistics standpoint, which is kind of our expertise, that's kind of the hardest, most difficult thing to do. So we'll continue down this short conversation, and of course, thank you once again, Natalia. I would like to let Monica, my co-worker who has been working with our team to put this together, to move on to the next slide and address some of the frequent questions that we've been having from people that we have reached out to. And by the way, if you're not speaking, please just mute your microphones so that we don't hear the background noise. Moni, go ahead.
Thanks, Enrique. Thanks, Natalia, for sharing. Thanks all of you for being here, for trying to make the difference and help in whatever we can. So as Enrique mentioned, as a team, we have been trying to figure out ways to help Ukraine, the refugees and the people in the inside. And we have been in touch with different NGOs and agents and people in general that want to help. These are the frequently asked questions that we have gotten during the last 2 to 3 weeks. So right now we are talking with partners and reliable agents in Poland, Hungary, Moldova, and Bulgaria. If anyone wants to ship into the Ukraine, we have to check that case by case, because it's harder to get inside the country than to help the refugees that were actually able to flee it out. Right now, from East Coast, from West to port, to any of these countries, Poland, Hungary, Moldova, or Bulgaria, the transit time we're looking around is around 30 days from door in origin to port over there. And the rates are going around for 4,000 USD for the ocean freight, only for the ocean freight from port to port. The inland freight will be checked case by case, depending on the origin and the destination. This doesn't include customs clearance and port fees, but still it's like a rough estimate that people need to keep in mind if they're seeking to send a container over there. It's very important for us to also talk about the recommendations in general. I'm just mentioning very quickly who we have been in touch right now with and the timeline and the rates, but it's very important to consider do not ship without all the pieces in place. Sometimes we all know that we want to help, but there are currently some containers in Poland and in other countries stuck because someone just gathered the material, they decided to donate, but they didn't have someone to receive over there for the customs clearance process, and also for being the final consignee and make sure that the help gets to the destination for people in need. So please, if you want to ship and we can help you because we are already gathering all the pieces together, let us know, or we can connect you with other organizations, but make sure that you have all of the pieces involved in place before shipping. Right now, we are also recommending to ship by ocean because the amounts of the pallets and the help that we can send are a lot. And it's like it can get more help there by ocean than only by air. Also, air freight is considerably more expensive. Also, keep in mind that the current needs are constantly changing, so please be in touch with us, with Natalia, with anyone that is like currently updating, so that you make sure that you're sending the needs that people need actually. So again, if anyone here wants to jump in, and if we have more people or agents or anyone else that has other questions and some of the other people in the call can answer those questions, now's the moment for that.
Okay, Monica, I'll go first.
Thank you.
This is Nikolai from Minimasters in Romania, Bulgaria. I don't see Romania, which is one of the best entry points. The safest port closer to the eastern part of Ukraine is obviously Constanța. And I see that this is missing, from agents and destination. Is there any special reason for that, or you have just missed, to mention Romania?
Yeah, it's what you mentioned. We gather like the main points that we have been in touch with, but yeah, we can consider Romania too. And if you can help us over there, you're more than welcome.
No, this is what we have discussed the first time. And I think in general, we're ready, to handle any shipment that goes into Romania and from Romania into Ukraine, because the eastern part of Ukraine is the best way to be served is to go via port of Constanța. This is the only safest port at the moment, closest to the Ukraine. If you go to the Baltics, or if you go, via Poland, then you cover mostly the western part of Ukraine. Well, the eastern part, the best way to cover it is via port of Constanța.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Let me jump in real quick, Moni. I think part of it was Monica had been able to reach out and establish some kind of initial relationships with some of the agents in these countries so far. So part of our conversation today is to open up to more connections and more trusted people within the network that we can use and also refer our customers to, because we wanted to make sure that when we were working with people that are on the ground, that we were making sure the product and the processes and everything that we knew who we were working with. For the same reason, we don't want anybody's stuff to get held up. So Romania is a great option, and we just need to continue to build our relationships there.
Thanks, Maureen. And thanks, Nikolai. Anyone else who wants to jump in at this point?
I have a quick remark. So Jennifer Roach from Detroit. I've been working on stuff with Vladimir. So I've been successful at getting a lot of things into Ukraine. I have a lot of trusted people there. We've been delivering from the Polish border all the way to Kharkov and many other places. So, if you're interested in getting into actual Ukraine and going to different places, I have plenty of trusted sources that we're working with there.
Jenny, have you sent us an email and send us a contact email? Because that's exactly what this call is all about, right? We need to come together. So definitely important. And Nikolai, if you can do the same, we're going to need every single port that's surrounding the Ukraine to kind of pull this off. So we need to work with everyone, sometimes sending to Ukraine, sometimes sending to Romania, Bulgaria, Poland, Moldova. So thank you.
I'd like to add one more thing. So DJ Jenny, super happy to see you here on this call. Thank you. But on the logistics within Ukraine, the only Ukrainian postal service that is currently operational, called Nova Poshta, is actually taking care a lot of the humanitarian cargo right now, and delivers all throughout Ukraine. So contacting them, it's a governmental institution, could be also a very good move if needed, and another option of logistics within Ukraine for any humanitarian help. So happy to make that introduction as well.
Yeah, if you can also either share the link on the chat, then I know that a lot of people are commenting already, or send us an email, then we'll distribute it to everyone that has attended this call and will attend the future ones, then by all means. Thank you, Natalia.
Yeah, please.
We will somehow I'll figure out a way to generate a document that could be shared between everybody with all of that information in it, so that we all have it in the same space.
Send it to us, Vladimir, and we'll distribute it to our list as well.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Vladimir. And well, this is again the frequently asked questions and the general needs, but now I'd like to let Christy Porter talk. She's our VP of Sales and Marketing, and she's been working a lot in connecting different organizations that want to help. And she's been like excellent at doing this. So please, Christy.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. We are very appreciative and looking to share as much as we are to learn. So thank you for chiming in and participating. Just this list is taken from all the conversations that we've had so far. A lot of it probably not surprising to you, but maybe a few things are. So this is just the current list that we have of needs that different organizations are looking for. So yes, if you have anything else to add, then we're happy to add. But this is kind of what we're seeing. The other one that may be a little less intuitive is this industrial warehouse space in border countries, as has been mentioned. EO, which is Entrepreneurs Organization, for anybody who's not familiar with it, has been receiving goods, but I know like initially they were putting in their apartments and things like that and quickly ran out of space because there was so much supplies flowing in. So warehouse space in border countries is also going to be a need that will continue to pop up. There's also, for those of you who may have seen the Ukraine website, or the Ukrainian government just launched this website. We just got this morning, so we're still examining it as well, but they have their own information and resources on there. So I just wanted to include that as another helpful link. But yeah, this is currently what we've assessed from our partners and peers about what's new and needed. So if you have access to any of these, please let us know. And again, we've been doing a lot of matchmaking. We're happy to continue doing that. And then now I want to, for just so you guys are aware what Vector is doing, I want to turn that over to our new disaster response liaison, Maureen Wuschlegel.
Hey everyone, my name is Maureen Wolschlager, and I'm going to be coordinating Vector's response for the efforts in Ukraine and kind of the bordering countries. Specifically, we're going to be sponsoring 2 containers per month, at least for the next 4 months. And here's a list of some of the items. You might want to take a screenshot or a picture of it, specifically we're looking for the container shipments. We have a warehouse, 2 warehouse spaces in the Atlanta area that our customers, our generous customers, both Serve and Books for Africa, are offering to be a collection point for donated goods, because we have some other potential partners who have smaller shipments that they want to donate, but 1 pallet or 2 pallets will not fill a container. So we're coordinating the consolidation and shipment of those. We are looking for some more space, maybe in the New York area or Houston, as like we were trying to focus it closer to the ports to make it efficient for the customers who are shipping the material there, for us to consolidate on a container and get it out as soon as possible. If you have anything specific that you want to ask about that, because my name is extremely long, it's easier just to use the email address ukraine@vectorgl.com and check out our website for that. We have a ton of people contacting us all the time lately. Where can I ship material? How can I combine it with others to get over there? I have a church I work with. I have, not me, but customers are saying this. So we, like Christy said, we're looking to marry up our friends, family, partners, professional colleagues, experiences, in order, not for our benefit, but for the benefit of helping the people over there. So again, the list is exhaustive, and it's best for you to take a picture or something, but please reach out. And like we said, this is the beginning of this initiative for us, so we'll refine it as we get input from more of the people like you who've joined us this week and possibly next week and the week after, because we want to actually make a tangible difference in the population over there. For this, we have a couple customers already, or partners, let's say, that are offering to ship medical supplies, water filters, used clothing, just some examples that we already have. We are going to start collecting some of this product in some of these warehouses shortly. For the collective group here, if you represent an organization that needs something, please feel free to let us know and we can add it to this list. Or if you're a company or you're church or your professional organization wants to donate something or have inquiries as to how you can help, also let us know, because we will try and use this as a forum to share needs and match up and resources. And so we're not all working kind of in our own silos here. We're also looking for other companies or sponsors to sponsor more containers or shipping costs to facilitate those that are willing to donate but don't have the resources. But if you have the resources but not product to donate, then there might be an opportunity to marry some of that up there. And lastly, which I don't think we put on here for this slide, is that occasionally we come across organizations, like in this case, I know like Viva Blue, Christine, I met them a couple weeks ago. They make these really easy water filters to use. They want to donate, they want to help, but on their own, they do not have like a consignee or a partner in destination that could receive those. And so while we are doing our own matchmaking and research on that, we know that everybody, there's probably 10, 20 people on this call that already knows someone or a warehouse or an organization or a church that could receive some of this material and could help distribute it, that the more resources we have on the ground there, the more product we can get over there to spread out as quickly as possible.
Does anybody have any either supplies they want to offer up right now to the group, or does anybody have any resources they want to go ahead and share with the group? We can certainly take a moment for that as well.
Hello, everyone. This is Chris and Katie from Matter. Just wanted to let you know we have really an unlimited amount of medical supplies, many pallets that we could offer. This is coming from hospitals, local hospitals and clinics here in the Twin Cities where we're based, and some in the region. But yeah, we're just looking for other organizations. We've done some shipments already, but how we work is partners come to us. We don't have any specific contacts in the area. So if people are looking for these supplies, we can get them to you. We obviously need some to figure out the shipping costs and things like that if we're shipping to Texas or wherever these warehouses are. But we have plenty of supplies, high quality, that we could offer. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. And sorry, I should have specifically mentioned you right there in the left column, but this is exactly what this forum is for, because there could be other organizations in your area that we can marry it all up, make a container's worth, and start from there instead of having to bring stuff closer to the port. So again, this is just the beginning of this. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks for sharing this. And also I want to read Natalia Fleischer just wrote in the comments that she's partnering with Project Cure, and she's actually getting medical supplies into Carbo. So she's in need of this type of products that you guys from Matter have. So that's great. Now you have the connection. We can talk more about this and help you figure out the shipping part if you like us to do that. But this is exactly what the forum is for. So thank you guys for sharing.
Well, again, we want to keep this short. I know that everyone's very busy. This is a priority to us and everyone on this call, clearly. We have a lot of organizations and partners that have already committed to donating. And so matchmaking and putting all this puzzle together and working with everyone, and not only in Poland, but as Nikolai rightfully said, Romania and any other country that can actually help and is willing to help not only immigrants that are outside of the Ukraine, but also Ukrainian immigrants that are in the Ukraine. I think that's something that we'll continue to do, and I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. It's an inspiration talking to organizations like Souls for Souls or Matter, or tons and tons of people that I have actually personally talked to in the last couple of weeks since this war started, and it's inspiring, right? So keep doing what you're doing. It's amazing, and it is going to make a big change for a lot of people. The other thing that we have to consider is that the implication and impacts of this war are not going to, unfortunately, be short term, right? So everyone's pitching in, everyone's helping right now, but immigrants that are fleeing their country are going to be outside their country for a very long time. So let's think about not only shipping quickly and rapidly so we can help now, but let's all kind of try to plan with a little longer strategic horizon, if you will, so that we can continue to help this for the longer term.
Hey, Enrique, if I may, and
All yours, Scott.
thanks everybody, the information exchange. I mean, this is why we do supply chain, right? This is why we do logistics. This is why we do business. Really, this makes my day to hear all of y'all and see the chat and see the opportunities and the ways that more people are going to be helped based on the efforts here. So thanks for carving some time out this afternoon. I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. My mother-in-law sent me, if Amanda's still on, sent me a poem that Amanda wrote in middle school, and it's very apropos for what we're all experiencing here. But rather than put Amanda on the spot, Evelyn Asher, I think Evelyn's with us, very gifted artist, writer, and coach, and she offered up a poem that she had written. And I didn't want to detract from the work we had to do today, but it might be a great way to kind of wrap today's call. So Evelyn, thank you for being here first off, and please share.
Thank you. And I just would like to add that my ancestral roots are from Kiev. Never again. Atrocity. Again, avalanche of metal without regard for human life. Ancestral pearls. Borders bulging, bridges bombed anywhere, everywhere, besieged, believers still. Courage beyond understanding. People of color treated conflictedly. Deportations, millions, deplorable acts, desperation, plea, divine intervention, ecumenical outcry, response, life as it was effaced. Families forced, fleeing, false narratives advance, greed driven, grief of generations lost galvanizes a determined people. Horrendous acts, humanitarian aid, horror as history repeats, never again. Ignoble infiltration, imperiled, encountering impetus. Jewels of architecture shattered, jewels sewn in pockets, again. Killing, senseless, little men fighting big man's war, bring him to his knees. Leadership, lullaby in a subway station where 1,500 share shelter. Madness, monuments to history, miracle, maternal ancestors fled. Never again, never again, never again, never again. Oppressive oligarchs, obedient, bewildered Russian soldiers, propaganda, poetry documents, Poland's reception, again, quash. Russian demonstrators quelled, again. Radical uprising, rail against tyranny, run from ruin. Sacred shards, social media blurts truths of souls suspended. Trail of history at the rear, ahead of trapped elders. Go, youth, now. Ukraine, united, uncompromising urgency against unjust provocation. Valiant vision. Weapons of mass destruction. WMD. Why, where, when will it stop? Zenith's strong sisters of circumstance stumble into Zenakti, which is hospitality. Zelensky, grandson of Holocaust survivor, dignity, strength, humor through the Zenith hour. Thank you.
Evelyn, thank you very much. I appreciate that. We certainly learn from our history, the better days and then the more challenging times. So again, I can't thank you all enough for what you do. I thank you for spending some time and some action on helping folks. And we'll find a way to make this easier. This is the first one. And big thanks to Enrique and Christy and Maureen, the whole team here, Monica. We'll find a way to make this more effective as we do it. It's been suggested timeframes and weekly cadences and resources. Figure all that out as we all do. Some more information to come. So thanks again. And Enrique, anything else?
No, just thank you all for what you're doing. Evelyn, thank you very much. I would love to have that poem if you're willing to share it with us. And we'll see you next Wednesday. I'm pretty sure there's going to be lots of conversations and emails flying back and forth between now and then. But thank you very much. And we stand with the Ukraine, and we're not going to let this continue, as Evelyn so eloquently put it.
Yes. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys.